All right, we are live and welcome for another edition of Not Mainstream. Last week I was deathly sick, puking my brains out and everything. So I was like, not even going to attempt to come on and discuss whatever happened last week. A lot of things happened last week. More information came out about the Parkland shooting that we'll get into at the top of the hour, and Reverend Graham passed away last week.
Yeah,
So a lot
Billy
of stuff
Graham.
happened. Yeah. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. I think they just buried him today. I actually believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so let's get started with the huge revelations that came out last week about the Parkland shooting, the Parkland school shooting that happened Valentine's Day. And man, how incompetent the FBI, the local sheriff's department looked at that. First off, the FBI, I think we discussed it 2 weeks ago, the FBI was tipped off countless of times. The local police was tipped off countless of times. No action was taken. And then it came out that during the shooting, that 4 cops stayed in their cop cars while the shooting took place. They stood outside, their arms and everything. They didn't even attempt to go in. Um, this is definitely not looking good for the sheriff in Parkland. So
Yes, Sheriff David Israel. Yeah,
yeah, Sheriff Israel.
he's a big time lefty, and that whole county is very leftist. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bad situation all the way around. It really is. It's just and they had this little town hall meeting last week on CNN, the very fake news network,
Yeah.
and they were going. There was a young ROTC member who was going to be part of the town hall, and but he sort of he backed out because they had apparently. I mean, the thing was there was a question that he was supposed to ask. He was going to ask his own question,
Mm-hmm.
and CNN decided they wanted it to be pre-scripted, and they said, "Yeah, no, we're not going to have you ask your own question. We have a
Yeah.
question that we would like you to ask."
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's how all
they,
those town halls are.
yeah, it
Through
shows you
CNN.
that.
That's how they are. They're 100% scripted. They have plants in the audience. I mean, that town hall against NRA Dana Loesch was 100% stacked against her.
It was. I mean, they were not going to suggest is something that I have heard suggested.
Mm-hmm.
What he was going to ask about was he was going to ask about he was going to say uh, his question was, well, couldn't we have retired veterans act as security at these schools?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with him. Why couldn't we have retired veterans or retired cops
Mm-hmm.
or things like that
Yeah.
acting as security?
Yeah, and we even discussed that 2 weeks ago. Why can't we have retired veterans and retired cops? I mean, these veterans, they're looking for jobs, and I mean, it's a job for them. I mean, have security. Even arm the teachers is a great idea. Even though people are trying to be against that for some weird reason. I mean, I think they should I think they should they have teachers meetings. All right, they need to sit down, have the principal, whoever is at the head of the teachers meetings, ask the teachers, all right, if you guys wants to get your concealed weapons permit and bring a gun to your class and conceal it and make sure it's up, in a safe place for no students can reach it, but in an accessible place so that they can get to it. They can, ask who wants to do that. And if they want to do it, allow them to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a darn good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheriff Israel, Dana Lesh was essentially the single, what you might call, low or sane voice in that meeting, that town hall meeting. And she was pretty much, she was essentially eating David Israel for lunch. I mean, she was embarrassing him. She was saying, hey, listen,
Yeah.
this is because of your screw ups. This is because of the FBI. This is because of the FBI screw ups. This is because of the screw ups of the
Local
police, the local law enforcement. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
She was slamming him pretty hard.
Oh yeah,
and
not only that,
and she didn't limit it. She did not limit it to just that night. The next day, she spoke at CPAC and she said, the mass media, they love she called it the legacy media. We call it the fake news media.
Yeah.
She said they love mass shootings. And no, they don't like the tragedy. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the tragedy, but they like the ratings. They like to see the mothers, crying over their children.
And she's right. She's right. She's 100% right.
She is.
I love her. She not only she's smoking hot, she's like, she needs to be in the Trump administration. I would love to see her as press secretary. I think she'd be tremendous as press secretary. But she's doing great at the NRA. But those CNN town halls, they're 100% stacked against whoever is debating, whoever. The one way I can see for them to get around that is for people like, I don't want to say people like us, but like people like us to infiltrate it. Have the question that CNN approved, but once we get to the microphone, ask the question that we was going to ask. Because how can they stop us? I mean, it's live TV. They can't stop us. They can't edit us out. They can't. The only thing they can do is just escort us off the premises.
Right. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad suggestion. But yeah, in this whole thing, something that the president has been doing that's been really concerning to me is, he had this little meeting with a bipartisan group of senators and representatives, and he was essentially saying, okay, we need to ban these assault rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dianne Feinstein, we need you to put that in the bill. Dianne Feinstein was acting as giddy as a 4-year-old child.
Yeah, she was like the freaking Wicked Witch of the West, giggling and cackling. Yeah, that is my main concern, and we was going to discuss that too tonight. But since you brought it up, let's go ahead and discuss it, because I was going to go back to Parkland and the students there. That the main four that keeps making the rounds of the mainstream media that happened last week. So you have David Hogg. David Hogg, he's the main one. He's like the the deep state junior of it, because his father is former FBI. His mother apparently worked for CNN or has some kind of connections to CNN. There's been and then there's video of him that YouTube scrubbed away, of him trying to I guess it looks like he was rehearsing lines or going over some type of script that they gave him, because he was making countless mistakes. Because in the video, he had a couple of lines he flubbed over, and then he go back and try to reread those lines. And then you have, I guess, the camera guy or some kind of producer in the background that told him it's okay, keep going. But yeah, that's a series of red flags right there for me. Is it's those four individuals only. It's David Hogg, this bald-headed girl, I don't know her name quite off. I can't remember her name, and a couple of others too. But David Hogg and the bald-headed one is the ones that's, that, like I said, the deep state junior kids that's out there progressing, regurgitating Democratic talking points, regurgitating anti-gun talking points every interview after every interview. And that is like a huge red flag right there. And with him, and not only that, with his father being former FBI and his mom, having some sort of ties to CNN, that's huge red flags right there for me.
Absolutely, it is. And it's just, I applaud. I applaud young people wanting to be activists and everything, and be passionate about certain subjects. But they're being fed this false narrative. These young people are being fed a false narrative.
Yeah.
They're being told this is the gun's fault. That gun just jumped right off that table and jumped right in that young man's hands and just started shooting off by itself. That's what happened.
Yeah. It's like, it's the same talking points. I mean, if you see the interviews they do, and you can watch, and every time they start out, they say, I'm not against guns, or I'm not against the Second Amendment. They always start that out, and then they go into their anti-gun rhetoric. Because every single politician says that, well, I'm not against guns, well, I'm not against the Second Amendment, we need to ban such and such.
Shane, they're causing you to break up, Shane.
These kids are regurgitating. Oh. How about now?
They're causing you to break up, man. And we're going. That's not the.
We'll get into internet censorship later on.
Oh yes. Because I saw some stuff about that today.
Facebook, all that.
I saw some stuff about that today, especially YouTube. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. But yeah, I mean, these kids. It's like they are regurgitating these Democrat talking points. That's a bad thing, And Rush Limbaugh calls them young skulls full of mush. And and that's what they are. I mean, these young people are being manipulated. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, hey, dictators all throughout history have used children in a manipulative manner.
And here's the thing: it's sad because the kids don't know any better. They don't know any better. They're in school, getting indoctrinated, getting brainwashed day after day after day, getting pumped with pro-communist propaganda and all this other nonsense. They're getting pumped with these brainwash tactics that the left loves to do. And and then you got the people that's I don't know what level of FBI David Hogg, his father, was on, but seems to me he's like pretty up the chain from what I've understood. But and then you've got that going on, and then you have these people like George Soros, the little deep staters, trying to push those kids out there and say, well, we gotta take these guns away and everything. And what's interesting is that they pick 4 kids, and it's these 4, and there's like what, over 300 students at that school. So out of the 300, what's so special about those 4 that they picked out and they elevate in the mainstream media?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was me, if I was a journalist, I would be trying to interview any student, not just those 4. And then not only that, they're on Ellen. It's like just like the security guard with Las Vegas. They got to put them on Ellen, and promote her whatever she's doing.
Well, we know that what we have in the media these days is the furthest thing from journalism.
Yeah.
This is what we have, CNN and MSNBC all the major networks, all the major news networks. It's nothing but propaganda for the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's just propaganda for the left.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It's just it gets worse and worse every day. You
Yeah.
see the progression of these ideas and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now let's kind of get into a little bit about President Trump and his meeting with these senators.
Yeah, because I am on your I'm with you. It is concerning about these comments. To basically, he said that well, one of the things he said that we need to take the guns first and worry about due process later. That's some of the
Mm-hmm.
comments he said. Another comment was like, we're going to ban bump stocks. We can raise the so some of the concerning statements he's made, and I'm like,
I
whoa.
don't like what you're
I
saying,
mean,
Shane, because you're breaking up. I don't like what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Hey Google, we love you, Google. We love Google. Wait a minute, let me. Google said that Hillary is still president. Hillary is my president. About now.
Well,
Okay,
it's okay now, but I guarantee as you
okay.
start talking about these
I'm
subjects,
gonna have to drop Hillary Clinton bombs every few sentences. You're gonna have to say Hillary every
yeah.
few sentences so that they won't come out. Yeah, basically, Trump says we're going to take the guns first, we're going to do the process later, and then ban bump stocks. And he made Dianne Feinstein's day about liking her bill and everything,
Oh yeah.
and that's really concerning to me.
Now there are those who have said, well, maybe he's trolling them, and maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he trolling them when he says this stuff? I have no idea.
Well, see, let's do a little compare and contrast. There's a difference between trolling with DACA and trolling with a constitutional amendment, the Second Amendment. With DACA, it's not really law. It's not law on the books or anything like that. So he can say
Mhm.
whatever he wants to say about that. That's fine. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah. But with the Second Amendment, that is law. That is on the books. And people is going to look at that and say, whoa, President Trump, that's not what you said in your campaign. That's not what you said
Hmm.
a couple months ago. That's not what you said during the campaign trail. You know, because when you start saying, I'm going to do a deal with you guys on a law that's already in the books, and that's really concerning because, I don't know where Trump's mindset is on this. I mean, it could be, he could be, thinking, the 40 chess and all that nonsense, or whatever. I do believe he's a smart man, but here's what I think. I think that since President Trump has a huge heart, and he wants to do what's right, and
Hmm.
he's been feeding all this information from some of the Ivanka and Jared. They're super liberal, so I'm not saying anything bad about Ivanka or Jared or anything. I'm sure their heart's in a good place as well, but they're feeding Trump a whole bunch of stuff. And Trump has a huge heart, and he wants to do what's right, and he sees mass shootings like this happening, quite too often. Something done. He really wants to do something done, but I think what he needs to do is not have his heart cloud his judgment from
Hmm.
tragedies like this. Yeah, you can have the biggest heart in the world, but you cannot let it cloud your judgment when it comes to stuff like this.
Hmm. Right. And I mean, here's the thing: if he's saying something that makes Dianne Feinstein happy, then
Yeah,
that's not good. That's not good at all.
yeah, she was giggling like a schoolgirl on the 4th of July. It's, I don't even know what
The
that
woman
means.
is
I just came
the
up with
woman
that.
is 84 years old. She for her to be giddy, for an
Yeah,
84-year-old woman to be giddy is just kind of creepy to see.
yeah, it is like I have never seen that woman as giddy as soon as Trump said that. I've never seen her that giddy.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I mean, she is a freaking hypocrite anyway,
Yeah,
because she has long advocated. Or listen. She has armed bodyguards. She believes in having a gun. She's had guns and rifles and things like that, assault rifles.
mm.
So she is being quite hypocritical.
And plus she's got armed security out the wazoo.
Right, exactly. So for her to be all excited and giddy about this, and then turn around, I mean, she is she's a horrid individual.
Hmm.
I mean, I have there's a term I have for her, rhymes with runt. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
particularly care for her at
Hmm.
all. So, but
Yeah, but uh, so a little bit about Dianne Feinstein, a little Weinstein news, is that the Democratic Party of California is not endorsing her. Apparently, she's not too far left for their taste, so they refuse to endorse her.
that's what I've heard. I've heard, oh, she's not far left enough for us. So
Which
therefore,
that video of her giggling, about taking the guns away is how is that not far left? How is that not
mhm.
far left?
I mean, she was happy as a clam when Trump
Yeah,
made that suggestion.
yeah. But what we have to do is, hold Trump's feet to the fire and said, "Hey, Mr.
Yes.
President, this is not what you promised in your campaign. This is not what you said that you was going to do with the Second Amendment and protect the Second Amendment. We just need to, if we see some, him going off the rails a little bit, we got to, boom, head it straight on and say, hey, this is not what you said. This is not what you promised. Don't go back on us. We want you for another term. So keep doing what you're doing." But, we're just going to have to wait and see where all this goes as well. I mean,
Yeah. And I've been told, especially on Pal Talk, because I like to go
mhm,
on political rooms on Pal Talk.
mhm,
Well, by some of these people who just worship Trump and think he can do no wrong. Oh
yeah,
well, he's playing mental chess, or I'm called a leftist. I'm like,
mhm.
dude, I'm the furthest thing from a leftist.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
yet,
there's, go ahead.
and this is only because I'm questioning the president on this particular issue.
Mhm,
It's just for questioning him on this. They said, well,
yeah,
he's playing mental chess. You have to trust him. Do I have to trust him? Because I'll tell you right now, I trust no politician, not even
mhm,
President Trump, which I think is a wise thing. I think it's wise not to trust any politician.
yeah,
Because guess what? They will let you down eventually. They will do
yeah,
something that you will not like.
yeah. I mean, if we stay in that mindset, oh, don't worry about it, trust him, and he does, let's just say, hypothetically, he does take every single gun away. I mean, what are we supposed to do now? Because we put his trust into him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, so it's
But
like,
there
do you
are,
trust him? I would ask those people, do you trust him now? Do you
mhm,
trust him now? Now that he's taking your guns away?
yeah,
Are you still going to make excuses for him and say, oh,
or
well, he's playing 4D chess?
yeah, yeah, I see that a lot. I see the 4D chess a lot, and I'm sure there's some moments where he does, tries to play 4D chess, but when it comes to stuff like this, when it comes to actual law on the books and the the Constitution itself, it is concerning. It is concerning, and there are extreme Trump supporters, you know, that's so far out there, just like the left. There's extreme leftists that's so far out there. There's also extreme Trump supporters that's so far out there that holds on to every single word he says. And I love the guy. I love the president. I love and respect him. And I'm not going to hold on to every single word he says just because I respect and love and finally have a freaking president I actually love. And because I've seen presidents throughout history, they there's been countless moments of presidents throughout history, going back on words that they said, just like Obama, keep your doctor, keep your plan, that's a lie. I'm sure Clinton told some lies, Bush told lies, I'm sure even Reagan told a couple of lies, but I'm not. I know Trump. And Trump, yeah, everybody lies. All right, and I'm sure Trump's lied before. It's not, but when it comes to Second Amendment and the First Amendment and any amendments in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and he plays 4D chess with them, or he wants to make a deal with them and said, hey, you know what? Give me this and we can take away the Second Amendment, or give me this and we take away the First Amendment. That's where I draw the line. I'm like, this is not you, Mr. President. This is not you at all. What happened?
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, that's exactly the way I feel. That's how I feel. I mean, don't go for the hero worship when it comes to this guy. And then I'm asked, well, would you rather Hillary be president? I'm like, of course not. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Of course I would not rather have Hillary as president. But Hillary has nothing to do with this. She's not the president.
Oh, if Hillary was president, the Second Amendment would have been gone by now. The First Amendment would have been gone by now.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear this rigmarole from these extreme Trumpers, that about, oh, would you rather Hillary be president? No.
Yeah.
But I would rather see a president who's actually going to do what he said he's going to do, and not go back on his word.
And I hope to God he's not been compromised. I hope to God he's not been compromised.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of my biggest fears right there. Is him being compromised.
Yeah, but the best thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to see the man, go back on his word and do say one thing and do another.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do not want to see that.
Yeah, and if we do see that, in the near future, then I will suspect to believe that he's been compromised. If Trump goes back on his words, any of his words at all, I will suspect that he's been compromised by the deep state, by the globalists, by whoever. But I think the best way, to get your frustrations out there and say, hey, Mr. President, this is not what you said during your campaign. Don't tweet him, because Twitter has been shadow banning people that tries to tweet the president. But make a phone call to the White House, email the White House, send a letter to the White House and say, hey, Mr. President, Second Amendment, protect our Second Amendment rights, protect us. Go out full swing. Even sign a petition. Create a petition on the White House page. Say protect our Second Amendment rights, because we need those Second Amendment rights.
We absolutely do. Without those rights, I mean, what are we as a country if we don't have those rights?
Yeah. I mean, you see countries, like China and all that other nonsense without the right to bear arms. And China is 100% dictator communist. I mean, the dude, apparently China banned the letter N, and Xing Pao, I think that's his name, is like, enrolling into your 100% dictatorship right now.
Yeah. And it seems to me we have a lot of these foreign countries that are. I mean, a lot of them are dictatorships. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
And they don't have the freedoms. Yeah. They don't have the freedoms that we do. They seem to. I think they take their freedoms for granted.
Yeah.
You could say that they take their freedoms for granted because. Yeah. So, but yeah, President Trump needs to stick to his guns. He does not need to compromise.
Yeah.
That is something that I know you and I both agree on. He needs to, and of course, yes, we as Americans, we need to hold his feet to the fire. We don't need to. Yeah, I don't mean you and I mean
his supporters, every supporter. That if you supported Trump during the election and voted for Trump because of his policies, because of what he said, and if you see that he's been, going off the rail just a little bit, tweet him, email him, Facebook him, whatever, and say, hey, this is not what you said in your campaign. Protect our rights, protect the Constitution, and he'll get it. Hopefully he'll get it, because apparently they've been, trying to cut off access to him. They've been trying to do everything they can to cut off his access to his supporters. Keep bombarding the White House with letters. Have so many. Exactly. Everybody has seen that classic scene in Miracle on 34th Street, the climax at the end, where all the postmen come in and dump the letters on the judge's table. That's how many letters President Trump should get, saying, hey, stick to your promise, stick to your campaign promises, and, protect the Constitution and stick to your guns and re-support you, but don't go off the rails. Don't, play, 4D chess with any of the amendments or anything like that. But yeah.
And I thought your point was really great too when you said, what was it you said? You said that, there is a big difference between playing this stuff with DACA than there is playing with the Second Amendment. You're exactly correct. It's neither fish nor fowl. I mean, this president needs to stick to what we voted for him to do, and not go off on some other tangent or go off on something else.
Yeah.
Because if he does, that's going to doom his. That is going to doom his re-election efforts. It's going to doom our country.
Yeah.
Forget about the re-election. This will doom the country if he decides he's just going to go off the rails and do what he wants to do. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the Second Amendment was put in place so that we, the people, can protect ourselves from a tyrannical government like China has, a tyrannical government like North Korea has. The reason why they don't have the right, if they had the right to bear arms, then you would not see North Korea dictatorship. You would not see a Chinese dictatorship. That was the reason why the Second Amendment was put in place, was to protect ourselves from an out-of-control government. And as we can tell, the government is pretty much out of control at this point. I mean, the FBI is incompetent, the CIA is incompetent, NSA, is incompetent. All these, 17 unintelligence agencies are 100% incompetent, doing whatever they want. But I think,
and see, in this case, it's not so much that we don't. It's not this particular. I would say that this particular case is not so much a thing about trusting President Trump. as it is that we want him to do what he's supposed that what he promised to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and going back to like what I said about him having heart, and I think this is the main issue is that he has a big heart, and he feels like banning bump stocks and banning AR-15s is the right thing to do to prevent these mass shootings. I think he's letting his heart cloud his judgment, and there's not anything wrong. Like I said, there's not anything wrong with having a big heart, and but you, like I said, you cannot let it cloud your judgment. You have to, you know, judge based on what you actually think and not judge by the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Judge
exactly.
Right thing to do, not judge by your heart.
Yep.
Let me see here. So I think that's pretty much it with the whole gun control and gun reform. And like I said, they're changing it to reform now. I mean, there's been people that kept on saying that. So let's see here. Parkland, Reagan, Trump. Okay. Let's go into censorship, social media censorship.
Oh boy, yes.
So a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks with Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and other forms of social media. There's been countless of YouTube channels being deactivated because of the Parkland shooting, because they decided to question the authenticity of the Parkland shooting. And not only that, we've seen countless of Twitter users, conservative Twitter users, being censored, being shadow banned in the couple of weeks. This is going to be a huge backfire on these companies, YouTube, Twitter, and all that. This is going to be a huge backfire on them because this is going to be something coming along like Gab. Gab is trying to find its footing. We are on Gab at Politically Alt, and my personal Gab at Skinner147. So I'm going to start using Gab more instead of Twitter. The best part about Gab is that you can both tweet from Gab and it'll post on Twitter too. So that's a great feature right there.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's important that we have. It's important that we have this. It's important that we have these social media platforms. That's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get the messages out because you're not going to be able to trust the mainstream media.
Yeah.
And now, yes, we do have all this banning that's going on. I mean, you're exactly correct.
Mm-hmm.
We have people being banned, or if they're not being banned, they're being they're being suspended. Their accounts are suspended.
Yeah.
Their videos demonetized, and
and plus
their videos are being censored. Their channels are being shut down, and especially on YouTube. YouTube, especially, they're having their channels shut down.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
and
now
then I think it just was reported. I think through Bloomberg, YouTube mistakenly shuts down channels, and they said it was rogue. Yeah, mistakenly. Yeah, it was a rogue YouTube employees that shut those channels down. I'm not believing a word of that. But here's the thing:
I mean,
what YouTube is doing now is not only is trying to censor conservative and other viewpoints, but it's also hurting people that's not political. I mean, they've getting their accounts suspended. That's not even politically affiliated. They've got their ad revenue services have been dropped dramatically, and they're not even political channels. They've been getting strikes on their channels because they're not even political channels. I mean, it's hurting people,
Mm-hmm.
the content creators of YouTube. It's hurting the people that's putting out entertaining content on YouTube. while YouTube is trying to censor everyone else, it's hurting the people that's not putting out political content.
Well, I mean, YouTube is passing the buck. You know, they're taking personal responsibility for banning people's accounts and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I suspect we're going to see more of them passing the buck.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, claiming that they quote unquote accidentally. Oh, we accidentally shut that person's account down. Yeah, sure you did. Mistakenly.
It's like I mistakenly got someone pregnant. It's like, what? Sure you mistakenly did it.
Right, yeah.
And with Twitter, they're not only suspending accounts and deactivating accounts, they're shadow banning accounts. And basically what shadow banning is that I can tweet my followers, I tweet out, they won't be. That's what shadow banning is. If you tweet something out, the other person won't be able to see it. You'll still see the tweet that you tweeted out, but the viewer, the other viewers on Twitter won't see that unless they go to your account and scroll through the tweets.
Yeah, and then they're still making you break up because once again, I mean, they don't like what you're saying.
Yeah, and we've been censored on here plenty of times before. And the reason why is because Google's got this AI algorithm during the live hangouts. I think it's probably a delay. Like there's got to be like a few second delay, maybe a 5-second delay. So what we are now in the hangout is live, but if you go on YouTube, there'll be like a 5 or 10-second delay between us talking.
Yeah.
Am I still breaking up?
They just don't like the truth. They just yeah. They don't like the truth.
And speaking of internet censorship, the Breitbart reported that due to Facebook's new algorithm, page views for Donald Trump's Facebook page dropped dramatically because of that new algorithm. So that's what they want. That's what these tech companies want, is so that you can't go to InfoWars or Breitbart or go to Donald Trump's page. So you won't be able to see what he's doing or be able to see the news that's actually happening today. They don't want you to see that. They want you to see CNN. They want you to see MSNBC. They want you to see CNBC, NBC, ABC, all these other mainstream companies. They want you to see that, but they don't want you to see the alternative sites. They want to put that at the very last.
Oh, there they go. They're doing it again.
Yep. Hillary is president. Hillary is president. Hillary is president. Russia did it. Russia hacked the election. Hillary's president.
Yeah, they want you to see the fake news, but they don't want you to see the real news.
Yeah.
They don't want you to see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're allowing all these different companies to continue to thrive and prosper. Like the CNNs and the CNBC and MSNBC and all that. They want them to prosper.
Yeah, and they're dying. They're dying. It's dying. By the way, the offer is still on the table for me to purchase CNN. It's I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. If I did actually buy it, if CNN was like, okay, here you go, here you can have everything, I'll be like, okay, what the hell do I do with this? How can I resurrect this toxic company? Well, first I would take away the freaking name, because CNN, that name is death upon arrival. So CNN is gone. That's no longer going to be the name of the company. Then I'll get rid. Actually, keep Jake Tapper, because I think I might be able to save him. I can see, because Jake Tapper is all right. when he wants to be. So I might be able to save him. But Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, Don Lemon, all of them are gone. They're
Chris
gone.
Cuomo.
Absolutely gone.
Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo is gone. Yeah, Aaron Burnett is gone. All of them are gone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but, geez. Let's see here. Let's see. Anything else happen in the news today? Oh, Russia. We got some Russian news. Putin came out and said that he's got some kind of nuclear doomsday device that he can put in a warhead or something and blow us all to smithereens. So, again, how's I don't understand how him and Trump is his best buddies after that.
Yeah. Why are they? Yeah. Explain that to us, fake news media. How can Trump and Putin be buddies?
Yeah,
Putin
I mean, after
him, blow us up. Crazy. Russia.
Yeah, I know. Where's Marsha when we need her? Russia.
You mean Jan, right? Jan's the one that usually says that.
Oh, who was that again?
Jan.
Jan. Yeah, because she always says Marsha. Jan, yeah. What's Jan?
Yeah. Yeah, where's Jan?
Let's see here. Other news. Oscars. I think the Oscars is this Sunday.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not going to bother to watch it because.
Yeah, I'm not watching either.
Oh yeah, well, Jimmy Kimmel is hosting, and he's a freaking lefty POS.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Bash Trump Fest again. It's going to be a Trump Bash Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they roll out Oprah again and have her make a speech saying, the Me Too movement begins here tonight and all that other is stopped. Oh my God! Did you see the billboards that was put up by that street artist? He put up some billboards that says, "In the next Oscar, the next pedophile goes, next Oscar goes to the next pedophile is," or something along that line, or the Oscar goes.
I think I saw something about something about that.
Yeah,
but,
he put up street billboards about Hollywood and the pedophile that's in Hollywood that's receiving Oscars. And also there was a Harvey Weinstein statue, him on the on a couch, trying to lure in women. Yeah. So, man, Hollywood is dead. Hollywood is dead.
Interesting.
But I won't be watching the Oscars. I'll probably see it on Twitter. I'll probably see what's happening on Twitter.
Mark Dice, I think Mark Dice will give a comprehensive review of it if they don't decide to ban him from YouTube.
Yeah.
Because his video today was about some of his videos being taken down and some of his videos being demonetized, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and like I said, that's hurting the people that doesn't talk political on YouTube. There's I don't know if you guys watch. I don't know if you watch Rhett and Link and stuff. People like Rhett and Link. They do entertaining videos and them doing stupid stuff. It's hurting people like that. It's hurting people like people
content creators.
Yeah, content, stuff like that.
Content creators. Yeah, I mean, this kind of censorship can hurt those content creators big time.
Yeah, you're seeing content creators try to go somewhere else, but there's not really that much to go to. There was VidMe, but that was taken down. They took that down.
Yeah, VidMe's gone. BitChute is still around, as far as I know.
BitChute. Yeah, BitChute is around. They changed the name a little bit, but they changed back to BitChute. We are on BitChute. What I do is go, as soon as these things end, I download through KeepVid a copy of every single episode that we do, because it's got to the point that even though we're not monetized and we don't do ads or anything, it's got to the point that I am worried that YouTube's going to try and shut us down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There you go.
There's also Vimeo, I think, Vidmeo.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
Dailymotion.
Daily Motion, yeah. Vimeo.
There are still, I mean, there are still video sharing sites, but
Yeah.
YouTube is the big daddy of all of them.
Yeah.
Not too many people are going to go to Vimeo just to look for video. Not too many people are going to go to Dailymotion. A lot of people may not even know those. Well,
Yeah.
they may not even know those video sharing sites exist. YouTube is the one everybody knows.
Yeah.
So everybody uploads their stuff to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, YouTube is the biggest, and then that's why they can't be any competition, is because of all the the tech companies that doesn't want competition.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
They can't have competition between YouTube and Google and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. I mean, YouTube basically thinks they have no competition as far as they're not intimidated by a Vimeo or a Dailymotion or a BitChute.
No. Yeah.
Because
just
they
like
know
Facebook,
that
they're not intimidated by Minds or any other alternative to Facebook, because they know they're not big. They know they're not at the capacity they are.
Yeah, and I mean,
So
like I say,
if let's just say if Minds get as big as Facebook, Facebook would go in and buy Minds. It would purchase Minds because it'll eliminate the competition completely.
Well, of course, Google owns YouTube, so they have the monopoly on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are essentially at the whim of Google and YouTube here
the Google
on
overlords.
this platform. Yeah, this is on this platform, on this social media platform. We are at the mercy of Google and YouTube.
Yeah. I got some good news. ICE did a couple of sweeps in California and Oakland, but the Oakland mayor tipped them off, and ICE missed, I think, about like 200 people out of the people they was trying to capture. So now the DOJ is investigating the mayor for obstruction of justice, which she needs to be arrested. They talk about Trump obstructing justice. You have the Oakland mayor saying, "Oh, there's going to be an ICE raid, people." She's like freaking Paul Revere going down to, on her horse, and the ICE people are coming. The ICE people are coming. The ICE people are coming. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, except she's not quite as patriotic.
Exactly. Exactly. She's the anti-Paul Revere. Let's see. What else? Got anything else that happened these last couple of weeks?
I really don't have anything. I mean, I think we've hit on all the major news.
Yeah, I think
items.
So too. Yeah. We got some new endorsements that I posted on our WordPress. I won't go into detail. I'll just post a link to the WordPress page below, let the people read who we've got down. Let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. I think we've covered the big points, like you said. Henry. Let's go into some local news. Henry, you got any local news?
I think I'm gonna let you go first, and then it's gonna take me a little bit to get to my.
All right.
So
Well, speaking of ice, ice was in town this past week. Not my town, but town north of here, Beckley. Uh, so ICE confirms 9 arrests in Beckley sweep. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) made several arrests in Beckley. ICE officials confirmed that they arrested 9 people on Wednesday, February 28th. They released a following statement to 59 News. On February 28th, 2018, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deportation officers arrested 9 people in Beckley, West Virginia, unlawfully present in the United States. ICE continues to focus its enforcement resources on individuals who pose a threat to national security, public safety, and border security. However, as ICE Deputy Director Thomas Homan has made clear, ICE does not exempt classes or categories from removable aliens from potential enforcement. All of these are in violation of the immigration laws, may be subject to immigration arrest, detention, and if removable by final order, removal from the United States. So ICE was in town. They arrested 9 people, and I know they're doing their job. I think that's like the first time I've actually heard that ICE arrested people in West Virginia.
interesting. Well, I'm glad they are doing their jobs.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure we have a local chapter of it here in Mississippi, also.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Okay. Are you ready for?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
'Cause I got something. Okay, this is interesting. Homemade explosives found in Jones County. Arrests made. Officers of the Jones County Sheriff's Office were sent to execute a search warrant on a home for drugs when authorities found homemade explosive devices inside the residence off of Trace Road. 2 suspects were arrested without incident, and in a press conference, Sheriff Alex Hodge shared details of the devices which were made with household items. Hodge said that it was clear that the suspects had been testing explosives and feared that if they were not caught, innocent people could have been harmed. We are very fortunate that we were able to interdict what could have been a very, very disastrous and tragic situation, he said. We are talking about mass casualties had one of these devices been deployed in any setting. It was stated that the tests consisted of the impact of the explosives, the range, and other factors in the woods surrounding the house. Tips have been sent to the department of explosives in the area, but not from the house specifically. When asked about the possibility of terrorism, Hodge didn't see why it should be ruled out. You'd have to consider that, Hodge. Most intent might be. As they gather more facts, Hodge says that this situation is concerning for the community. If that doesn't bring chills down your spine, you better wake up. This is serious, serious business in Jones County. One of the suspects in custody does have a criminal history. The suspects are being held on drug charges, but new charges will likely come as a result of the investigation. More arrests are also possible. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives will assist in the investigation. And there's a link to a video, which is the full press conference on this particular occurrence. So, my goodness, I mean, could this be like meth dealers resorting to protecting? Well, hey, listen, these drug dealers, they will protect their investments any way they can.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah, it's not just on Breaking Bad. I mean, this is real life. This is true stuff. Okay, I got one more thing to talk about. It's local politics, but it also has, what do you call it, implications for national It also has implications for national politics as well. U.S. Senate race heating up in Mississippi. It was a busy week and a now crowded race for Senator Roger Wicker's seat in the U.S. Senate. The first to throw their hat in the ring was State Senator Chris McDaniel. His announcement was swiftly followed by two Democrats, House Minority Leader David Berria and entrepreneur Howard Sherman. McDaniel held a fiery political rally in his hometown of Ellisville to challenge Wicker's voting record. Berria announced his candidacy on Twitter with a caption saying, "I'm in." And Sherman did not make an official announcement, but has since made his first public comments as a candidate. On his website, it states that Sherman and his wife, actress Cecilia Ward, who is actually originally from Meridian, Mississippi, by the way, and their two children have owned a farm in Meridian for over 25 years. In addition to his farming experience, Sherman touts over 30 years in the private sector and says that he has a plan to help stimulate Mississippi's economy, improve education, and reduce healthcare costs. I've spent my career working with startup and young companies to solve problems and spur growth, Sherman said. In doing so, I have mentored management teams, found creative ways to solve problems, and created hundreds of jobs, and I want to do the same here in Mississippi. The announcement goes on to detail philanthropic efforts such as the creation of Hope Village for Children in Meridian, a facility that cares for troubled, abused, and neglected children around the state. Sherman says that his campaign will be about making Mississippi better for everyone. SELA and Mississippi have given me a home, so I'm excited to apply my experience and what I've learned in the private sector to impact the state's kitchen table issues. We should have better health care. There should be more jobs. Our kids should have reasons to stay here. I've finishing your schooling, and there needs to be greater opportunity for all. In front of the crowd on Wednesday, McDaniel called for a change in Washington, D.C. during his announcement. Why do you think that the same individuals that have been sent there time and time again, decade after decade, they go up there and fall in line with leadership? They're more concerned with Mitch McConnell than they are you, and they keep voting your people into debt. Pardon me. They keep taking away our civil liberties, McDaniel said. At some point, we have to understand that doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results, is the classical definition of insanity. Incumbent Senator Wicker issued a statement after McDaniel's announcement in the anticipation of the upcoming campaign cycle. Gail and I are looking forward to this campaign and sharing my record of successfully fighting to reduce job-killing regulations, confirm conservative judges, enact historic tax cuts, rebuild our military, and honor our veterans. We will work hard to once again earn the votes and support of all Mississippians, Wicker said. Berria will hold an event later today to formally announce his campaign. The involvement of two candidates on both sides means that Republicans and Democrats will hold a primary election before the general election later this year. Now, Chris McDaniel ran against Thad Cochran in 2015, and there were some pretty bad, what you might call dirty tactics that were used by the Cochran campaign. Cochran is a Republican, not a conservative, but a Republican. And Chris McDaniel seems to be much more conservative than Thad Cochran is. He may be even more conservative than Roger Wicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that I'm going to try to, if it's possible, to vote in our primary, vote for Chris McDaniel on that side of the primary.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, vote for him in the general. So the general will be held, of course, in November because this is an election year.
Yeah. And what an election year it's going to be. It's taking shape right now. A few things came through the pipeline that we forgot to mention. It was announced either yesterday or today that President Trump is going to impose a 25% tariff on steel and a percent tariff on aluminum. It's got the whole world shaking in its boots. Canada doesn't like it. Justin Trudeau from Canada, says this is absolutely unacceptable.
Feminist.
Speaking of Justin Trudeau, we haven't talked about this, but have you seen the pictures of him at his India trip when he went to India and he looked like a gypsy fortune teller?
No, I have not seen those pictures.
Oh my God, he is such an embarrassment to Canada, such an embarrassment.
Mm,
But Trudeau said this is unacceptable, and China's mad, and the European Union, the EU, is mad as hell, and they're going to take it anymore. This is good. This is good because because see, here's the thing: if Trump imposes these tariffs, that's going to be more income for us, more money for us, and that's going to raise the debt. It's not going to raise the debt; it's going to lower the debt. And China doesn't like that one bit. So if China doesn't like it, it must be good. If Justin, the globalist Justin from Canada doesn't like it, it must be good. And the EU, they don't like it, so it's fine by me. So
yep, there you go.
yeah. So that I think I found. I was thinking of something that. Oh, we was talking about Ivanka and Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner actually got his security clearance lowered this past week. So, it makes me wonder if Jared and Ivanka might be on their way out of the White House. Because we saw Hope Hicks. Hope Hicks resigned the day after she did her Russia testimony. And the mainstream media probably made it like a big deal, saying, "Oh, she must knew something. That's why she resigned." I think she was probably getting ready to leave because she was, in that whole scandal about her relationship with the woman abuser. So I think she was probably on her way out anyway. It was just
Yeah,
bad
I think
timing.
so.
I think it was just
Yeah.
bad timing for her to do it after the, Russia testimony. But Jared had his security clearance lowered. So maybe Jared and Ivanka might be on their way out of the White House. It's going to be quite interesting. I've never seen so many White House shakeups since since Trump took office. Uh, I don't mind shakeups only if it's only for a good cause, if it's only for him to bring in people that actually would support him and his agenda. Um, there's been rumors that McMaster might be on his way out, which is fine by me. I'm not a big fan of McMaster. And then, John Kelly, he might be on his way out as well. I'm not really too familiar with John Kelly, but I kind of, I don't see any of I don't see any progress he's made since as White House. What was he, chief of staff or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see what he's been doing to to be effective, really. All right,
Mm-hmm.
all right. I think that's pretty much it. I was, to be honest with you, I thought this was going to go on a little bit longer because we had a week off, but it wasn't. It was only an hour tonight. All right, so let's see here. Tomorrow night we're back, baby. The Webcasting Dead, The Walking Dead. We're going to be talk Walking Dead on our other channel, and holy hell, what a episode it was. You know, they did a really, really great job on the mid-season premiere. And, it was so good, I thought that could have been a season finale moment right there. That could have been season finale. That was season finale worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're going to talk more about Walking Dead tomorrow night during the Webcasting Dead at 8 o'clock. We also got some Walking Dead news. Scott Gimple is out as showrunner, replaced with Angela Kang. Lauren Cohen, from what I've understood, what I understand is that she has not signed her contract for The Walking Dead yet, and she might be on the process of her way out and onto a new show on ABC. So we'll talk about that. Yeah. So, and then also Wednesday night, is the what, ninth episode of the X-Files?
No,
Or
not
the
yet. It's
eighth?
the eighth. Eighth.
The eighth. So we got three more episodes left: 8, 9, and 10. So the eighth episode of the X-Files, familiar. Holy my God, man! That teaser we saw this past Wednesday.
Mhm.
No, Wednesday night was just absolutely freaky. One of the freakiest things I've ever seen. But yeah, so we'll be talking on the X-Cast Wednesday night, the 7th, right after the X-Files, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, 5 Mountain, and 4 if you're in Europe somewhere. And then next Friday night is another Not Mainstream, so who knows what's going to happen between tonight and next Friday night.
Mhm.
A lot can happen. And then next Saturday night is going to be another Webcasting Dead. And tune in tomorrow. We'll do some predictions of what's going to happen next week on this Sunday's episode of The Walking Dead. So if you're fans of The Walking Dead, check it out. If you're fans of the X-Files, check it out. But I think on that note, good night, everybody. God bless America, and God bless President Donald J.
Yep.
Trump.